This is how I make my favorite mushroom spinach cheddar omelet. I'll show you my hacks for avoiding soggy mushrooms and spinach, getting it warm and melty inside and lightly toasted on the outside with crispy cheese around the edges. Hello, my name is Nicole Bonilla, and if you love healthier recipes to our favorite foods, then you are in the right place. To make this mushroom spinach omelet, you only need a few ingredients, including a handful of spinach, 2 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese, and I like to use a mix of sharp white cheddar as well as a medium yellow cheddar. And then you'll need about 3 mushrooms. So we'll start by dicing our mushrooms and bring our pan to a medium heat. And then we're going to start by sautéing our spinach and mushroom in our pan. So I'm just going to add about half of a teaspoon of some light olive oil. And then I'll quickly spread that around the pan and then drop in our mushrooms. Do a quick chop on our spinach and drop that on top. And then season with just a little pinch of salt. So while these are cooking, we'll go ahead and prep our eggs. So I've just cracked 2 eggs into a bowl. And then I'm going to add about 1/8 of a teaspoon of paprika and a dash of garlic powder. And I like to add 2 pinches of salt and a dash of pepper. Now we'll just mix this together with a fork. So after about a minute, we can go ahead and stir our mushrooms and spinach together. And then we'll give those about another minute to cook down. Now we can give these a good stir. Our mushrooms are nice and soft, so these are done. Now we could just pour our egg mixture into our pan and mix it around with the mushrooms and the spinach, but I prefer to be able to have all my mushroom and spinach inside of my omelet. So we're going to take these out of our pan. But mushrooms and spinach have a very high water content, so I first want to soak out the extra moisture so they're not soggy at all. So I just have a 2-ply paper towel. And then I'm just going to empty the spinach and mushroom right onto the center of it. And then we'll put our pan back on the heat. And we want to have the heat set to just under medium. And to keep our omelet from sticking, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of butter to my pan. And as that's melting, I'm just going to tilt my pan so it gets all the way up the sides. And now we can pour in our egg mixture. And to help the eggs cook evenly, I'm just going to go around the edge and just gently pull it forward and tilt my pan so that the uncooked egg runs outside. And we can pop any bubbles that form and let them fill up with egg. And once I've gone all the way around, we'll go ahead and put on our lid because that's going to help the inside cook as well. And while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and roll up my spinach and mushrooms inside of the paper towel. And then I can just press on it with my spatula. And this will help soak up any extra moisture. And then we'll unroll it back onto my cutting board. And then to keep it all nice and bite-sized, I like to go in and do another quick rough chop, just so I don't have any long strands of spinach. By now, our egg is ready, so we'll take off our lid and then empty our mushroom and spinach onto 1/2 of our omelet, and then add our cheese. And I like to have the cheese just barely starting to spill out on the edge. And then we're going to take our spatula and loosen up our omelet all the way around. And then we'll just barely let it slide away as we fold it in half. Ooh, I love that perfectly toasted bottom of the omelet. And then I'll just kind of scoot this away from the edge and use my spatula to scrape it down on the sides. And then just gently press down in the middle. And this will allow all the egg and cheese to ooze around the spinach and mushrooms inside the omelet. And then I'll put my lid back on just for about 30 seconds just to help it cook through. I'll take off our lid. Then with my spatula, I'll just go and scoot in this edge. And this is all melted cheese that's going to get delicious and crispy. So now we want to flip it over, so I'll make sure that it's all releasing from the pan. Get underneath and flip. I love how this is nice and toasted on the bottom. And I don't want to lose any extra cheese, so I'm just going to scoochie those in with the rest of the omelet. And I'll gently press down and then let this cook for about another 30 seconds. I can tell the bottom is toasted, so this omelet is done. So I'll just go around with my spatula, just making sure it releases. And then slide this onto my plate. And make sure there aren't any extra cheesy bits on my pan because those are my favorite. And this is my favorite way to make a toasted spinach cheesy omelet in my HexClad Hybrid pan. That is ready for a sample. That is so good. I love biting into that slightly crunchy, cheesy egg on the outside, and then you get the soft, perfectly cooked egg on the inside, and that cheese and egg is just spread throughout the mushroom and spinach, which have tons of flavor. and it all comes together in the most delicious savory bite. And I love that it's made with clean, natural ingredients, which means I'm gonna feel just as good even after I eat it. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my kitchen. I've included a link to the full recipe and it's in the video description below, and that takes you to my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I cannot wait to have you hang out with me again in my kitchen.